Hi guys, well we're back again. Now today we have who I like to call Miss Einstein. Doesn't she look like she's smart? She really is. She's waving to you, see? Now Miss Einstein, she said, Gigi, I want just like you. Okay. Obviously we're wearing the same different clothes, but she wanted a necklace, she wanted glasses, and she wanted some earrings. I said, okay. I told her the necklace kind of, went with her skin tone. I guess it would be fur tone in this case. Then, don't tell her this, okay? She wanted earrings. Really? So I told her that this was what they call bearings. It's actually my bracelet. But she's got on her bearing, okay? And she just wanted to join us today and say hi. And I'm kind of glad because she wears the glasses like me. So now I don't look like the only four-eyed doing the show. Okay? Welcome today. Welcome. Now today, another subject on communication with angels. This is one of my favorite ways that they communicate with us, and that's with the animals. What is more touching than animals? Right? You can see them in your home. Maybe they're your pet. Maybe it's the neighbor's dog or kitty or horse or whatever the animal may be. They touch us somewhere, and it's amazing. But then there are what I like to call our spirit animals. Our guides, spiritual guides, work through these animals. And together, they bring us a message. And you think, now she's talking to animals. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the video where she said something about hearing angels. She really is a little off. Oh, I promise you. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, now, when I started going for these walks I told you about in an earlier video, I would notice like two crows. Oh, guess who's back? No. And those crows would follow me or be ahead of me throughout my walk. I'm going to ignore her, so if she yaps for the whole thing, I won't respond to her because that's negative energy trying to interrupt our conversation. Now, excuse me, she's got me off. If I go on my walk and they would be ahead of me, then they would like lead the way. Now it didn't matter if I walked 1 mile, 3 miles, or 5 miles. They were always with me. And it would be like they'd be on the lawn waiting. And I thought, oh, this is different. So then one day I was sitting here, it was raining, couldn't go for the walk, and I decided that I'm going to look up the crows and see what the spiritual meaning behind the crows were. It comes to be that they're messengers of God. They are the messengers. And then when I started reading into the two crows, then it took me into mythical times, into the time of the gods, mythical times. And there was a god named Odin, and he had two crows. So I won't get into all of that now, but I'm just showing you how just having the two crows show up on my front lawn led to more for me to learn in my spiritual path. So that made me think, well, geez, if they can do that with crows, what do other animals that have entered my path mean? So then I started to think about it, and I found it fascinating. Then another day, now I've lived in this home. I bought this brand new, and I've been here 21 years. It's all paid for as of a year ago. Thank you. And just the summer before last, I think it was. I was out and I was working in my yard, and I went to check the water on the plants and all that. And as I was coming back from the further end of my yard, All of a sudden, I look over and here is the most gorgeous jackrabbit I've ever seen. This thing was humongous. Humongous. And it was sitting on my front lawn. It hopped out from my plants, was sitting on my front lawn, and looked like an Easter decoration. It was perfect. The ears were up straight. It was looking forward. I just stopped in my tracks. And I just looked at it, and just this total warm, miraculous feeling came over me. And I said to her, "Aren't you beautiful?" Oh, so I stood there and I talked to her for a little bit. I just talk normal talk. How are you? I'm glad you came to visit. I hope you're having a beautiful day. You've just made my day extra special. This is nature, but yet it's a part of us. Everything is a part of us. So then I explained to her, I do look, and I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk slowly towards my home, to the front door. Now you can sit there. I won't touch you. I won't hurt you. But I've got to go in and get going on things. You don't want to leave rude and abruptly. And as I started to walk forward, it didn't, hop off really fast like it was scared of me. But it did this most graceful hopping across my front lawn. And I want to tell you, the back feet of that was like this long. That's how big it was. I stood in amazement as I watched it. It was like a ballet show. And it went across my whole front lawn, and then it made a direct turn to the left, and it hopped down by my little shed. I felt special. I really did. I've seen rabbits. I've seen wild rabbits. I have never seen a huge jackrabbit like that in my entire life. Beautiful, beautiful. But then what I do later, as I'm sitting having my tea, I come in and I would look that up, see, what is the meaning? What's the spiritual meaning of seeing a jackrabbit or a rabbit? And you'll be surprised how that meaning will again resonate with what's going on in your life. Or maybe something to come in. Everybody's always looking for a psychic. There's no better psychic than the spirit world. Okay? They know everything. So pay attention. Pay attention to the animals that come in to your life. Another thing was squirrels. I'd see squirrels every time I'd go to the store. Boom, bang, boom. It was like that little game where you got to zigzag through, to get where you want to go. It would be like that, just trying to go a mile down the road to the corner store. I used to think, okay, 1 squirrel, 2 squirrels, that's right. But holy mackerel. I must put on the brakes, stop. Okay, drive a little bit, put on the brakes, stop. Okay, all right, they're trying to tell you something. Something keeps going and going and going, all right? But this was like rapid. So I said, I better check this when I get home. And it said to put away your money, save your money, start squirreling it away, like they save it in their cheeks, for the winter, all right? And I thought, I wonder what this means, because my trip is in the winter, so I'm going away. It's not like I'm going to be here. And I've been saving for my trip, so I should be okay, but I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to save. What happened? Unexpected expenses that I had to take care of come up, took all the money I had saved. Isn't that amazing? So therefore, it was a warning about that, and therefore I still had time to save for my trip. Now people say, well, maybe that meant you weren't supposed to go on your trip. It all depends on what you want it to mean, doesn't it? If it meant not to go on the trip for you, then you'd stay home. For me, it meant you better save up if you want to go on that trip. And that's what it is. So whatever you believe, that's what it's going to be. This is how your mind creates your reality. Okay? We're going to do another video on the mind. We're going to get into all of that. The deer. How many times have you had, well, maybe depending on where you live, a deer hop in front of your car? All right? My sister just had 3 up in front of hers. Her bus, she drives a bus. And she looked at that as divine intervention because the number 3 is divine. It's your body, mind, and soul. So therefore, you look up the deer and see what that might mean coming into your life. This is how the angels talk to us through different animals and different situations. So if you find an animal now that animal doesn't have to be in a physical form. That's another thing that's important. Maybe it's everywhere you go, you're seeing pictures of owls. Everything. You turn on Facebook, picture of an owl. You go to the grocery store, pictures of owls. You go out to buy a plant, there's owl statues everywhere. You know, maybe the people in front of you on their plate, they've got an owl. Then look up the owl. And once you look it up and you put what you're supposed to stop, oh, she's going to be bad today. She is so used to getting her own way. But I'm not going to pay attention to her until we're done. So please excuse it. Because if I allow this and it interrupts this, then she'll do it every day. See? They know they know, I should say. The energies around her know what I'm talking about. And she can go and wait until we're done. Go, wait till I'm done. You got to wait. And I've taught this. I've taught this. The exact same thing. Where if I'm trying to bring out something positive to people, there are ways that energies, there she goes to lay down. You see what I'm talking about? There are ways that energies have of interrupting you. So if you're trying to do something and it's on a positive, and something like that keeps going on and on, speak out loud. Speak out loud. It hears you. It, being the energy around, knows what you're talking about. I know, I'm sounding a little crazy, but that's okay. Now, I've got more to talk about as far as the animals go. I've got kind of a special story that I'd like to bring to you. And in that respect, I think I'm going to close this off. And thank you again for coming and seeing our video. I will continue this one on the next video because we're running out of time. And as always, I like to say thank you. I like to ask you to please come again. And I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying seeing the responses. And I just did want to mention one other thing. Somebody brought it to my attention. Actually, they were visiting me last night and we were watching some of the videos. And what they didn't realize is that they could not only see them on my Facebook wall, but if you come home and you think, well, she's saying there are others, but you know how you go through Facebook and scroll and scroll. Well, you can actually go to YouTube. All you've got to do is either go to YouTube and go to search, click that little search, and type in Silent Dream, 2 L's in silent, don't forget that, and space with a capital J and a D, and it'll take you to my page on YouTube. Now, if you're already watching one of my YouTubes, underneath the picture itself, it will say Silent Dream, JD. You can click on that, and that will take you directly to my page on YouTube. The other thing I found interesting, I wanted to bring to your attention, because the person asked me about this too, subscribing. Now, my mistake when I first went on YouTube, and I would find interesting things, and I would see this subscribe button, I thought I was going to be paying for something. So I'm not touching subscribe. You know, I thought that's how they made their money. I love you dearly, but, you know, if I was to pay to watch everything that I subscribe to, oh my gosh, I have to go out and work 3 jobs. Because I love my spirituality, and I'm always looking and searching. So you don't pay if you subscribe. So please subscribe and like. And I bless you in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. And namaste. Until we meet again. Enjoy.